Hello everybody. Um, so I recently did a design a character with me on my Instagram, and so go follow me there. Link will be in the description at Spacey Sherlock, because I'll probably do one of these again. It was really fun, and I honestly think this is a character that I want to continue with, maybe, because I have a lot of ideas that I want to do, but I just thought what this became was really cool, and so I didn't want to just make a post about it. I wanted to actually explain the process of making it and designing it. So I had a poll up on my Instagram where I had a whole lot of things that people could choose from, and so I drew the character based on the descriptions that won. So for the Instagram choice, the kind of character we got was feminine with a lukewarm color palette, medium skin tone, tall, short hair, lanky, cute, no bangs, dyed hair, tattoos, piercings, and no glasses. And I did do a little sketch in my book where I had some concepts of outfits and shoes and hair and face. And then I did another sketch that you can see in the video where it's a full composition, which I just inked and colored in digitally. I don't know how completely well I followed all of those descriptions, but I did try very hard. There are some things that I could definitely change next time, especially with the way that I did the poll. I felt like I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I probably should have, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It ended up being cute with tattoos and piercings, and I kind of wanted to do a very extreme version of everything. So if it's tall, I want to make it super tall. I'm sure you can tell everything is super exaggerated. I did have an idea of the Spirited Away dragon across her upper thigh, an upper thigh sort of very delicate, maybe a moth or something tattoo. But then it was covered up in the picture, and I didn't really think of that. So I kind of copped out and was oh well, her freckles are tattooed on, so they're black, and that counts. So I think I'll definitely do better there next time. Oh my gosh, I think I just realized I did not put any piercings on her. Oh no. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do an apology video. Oh shoot. No, it definitely said piercings. Oh, that's my bad. Okay. Okay, that's on me, boys. That's really... Oh well. I think I did even, draw something in the actual, composition sketch in my sketchbook. I just literally forgot to ink it. Nice. Okay. Too late now. I really loved the way the shoes were. I had this idea when I was looking up sort of fashion trends and things like that that I wanted to include, and I had this idea for a Catholic schoolgirl. I go to a Catholic school, and I think it's a very interesting idea in terms of supernatural events, especially boarding school. So this would be an all-girls school, and say she gets bullied, and so this is more a picture of her reading in the woods, and later on, or I guess you can see now, kind of, I've got these eyes drawn on the top of the page, so I wanted her to befriend some sort of forest spirit, like in Princess Mononoke, or like in My Neighbor Totoro, a very cool character design. So I wanted something like an owl, which is why I did those eyes. I kind of wanted more of a graphic design effect to the back, because I didn't want to spend too much of time on that. I just wanted to focus on the character, because that's what this whole thing was meant to be about. So I was going to do a little nose, but then it kind of looked weird, so I just stuck with like the owl-shaped big eyes watching, but she's like still got like a good vibe on her. My mom said she's very like whimsical looking. I battled a lot with these skin tone and just the whole color palette in general, just because of how when I did the poll, instead of it being like super like cool or warm or neutral, it was warm. It was in between warm and neutral, and so I was trying to include a lot of elements. Like I thought maybe if we were like on that side, I would do, instead of just including warm and neutral colors, do a lot of warm colors and then use some key cool tones to just break it all up. And so I tried initially making the skin a cool tone, but then I just decided it didn't really work the way I wanted it to, and like it didn't represent the character the way I wanted it to. So it is warm, and then I put it in the jersey, but I later also changed that. But I did find at the very, very end that I sort of just layered a a multiply layer over that was cool toned, and it sort of just it gave that little bit extra moodiness to the whole thing. So I'm really glad that I stumbled upon that. For quite a bit now, like a week, which I guess isn't that long, I've been trying to focus on making my line art a lot thinner. Generally, I don't have a like stylistically very specific line art thickness that I draw in, but I do feel a lot more comfortable drawing with thicker lines than I do drawing with very thin lines. I just feel like I don't have a lot of control when they're super thin, but I really, really love the way I look. They look like really like well done anime characters and things like that. Like when you see people paint over a really thin line art, I just love it so much. And I wanted to try that, and so I have a comic going called The Illusionist Legacy. I'll link it in the description. It's a very similar style to this. It's pretty much identical in style to this piece. So if you like it, go check it out. But the first couple chapters, I think you can definitely tell where I'm like trying to figure out exactly how I want it to look. Because there's not a super big difference, but I think you can definitely see that I'm getting better at it. And in my more recent pages, I decided to, instead of just like doing a thumbnail and then doing the line art on top with just like a thicker brush, like not super thick, but a thicker brush than this, I would do a sketch layer on top of the thumbnail, which just neatens it out, and then like do a really pretty detailed line art. I put a lot of thought and like research into all of these sort of elements of the piece. So I was messing around with like her proportions for a while, and I decided that I wanted her to be like very lanky, like was chosen in the polls, but I wanted to make her cute, so I gave her really long socks. So even though she's like super tall and very long, like model-esque, she still looks quite like petite. And of course, like blushies everywhere. It's a it's a key aspect of making a cute character. Um, and I used a lot of like complementary colors, so I was really worried after I had changed that sweater back from being that sagey color to more of a pinky tone, because I didn't really have anything that was breaking it up, but I didn't like the way it was looking exactly. I think I do have a lot of problems with like color palettes because unless they're super like easy color palettes, I would say like um, ones that are all like very complementary tones and maybe like one or two contrasting tones, then it's fine. But otherwise, I feel like, especially now when I do like my comic, I always worry that the colors are all just sort of like clashing and kind of a mess. I I mean I'm practicing, but if you have any tips on like how to fix that, that would be great. Um, so I did sort of want to make it more of an older looking drawing because I know like Catholic school is it's more of like I guess like an old tradition. So when you think of it, it's like a lot older than like modern time like Gen Z type characters, which I think this hair color or not hair color this hairstyle is very like new, where it's like the two buns. But I wanted to give her a very like animal sort of look because I think that's quite cute. And she had short hair, so there wasn't super like a lot of cool hairstyles for me to do. But I didn't want to do anything like pixie, like make it too short. But I did want to give it some like something different than just like a bob or whatever. Um, so I ended up liking that. So it's like a modern take on the whole forest spirit sort of thing. Like normally if you do that, it's like a 90s sort of time period, but this would be like 2020. Like we've got phones and TikTok and things like that. I do think she looks a little bit curvy when it comes to like her thighs. I I did try and make her look very slim, but I think it's just because that skirt has that like ruffle to it. But I think it also makes her look cute, so I guess it's accurate in that way. I wanted to give her like a couple details, like the necklace around her neck is a moth, so like the one that I wanted to put on her thigh, so it would reference like all the same things, and then that could be like a big motif within the story, this hypothetical story that I have not made up yet. Um, and as I said before, like I was going to shade in all of the freckles, but I ended up just making them black, so they're like tattooed on. And I didn't want to give her a super crazy hairstyle because I wanted it to be like more soft and neutral and like foresty. So I think this character would have worked a lot better if they were like a redhead, like I'm getting that sort of vibe. But I did do the best with what I had, so I like tried to fade that in. Um, and I think it worked to an extent. Mm, I'm still looking for a name for her. I got a couple suggestions on my Instagram, but nothing I'm like completely satisfied with. So if you have like a cool name, leave it down below and I will definitely consider using it um, if I ever make this a real thing. I think I put way too much detail in because when you zoom out, you don't see anything. But I do that all the time. But yeah, I'm like really, really proud of it. So I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, please give it a like and maybe think about subscribing.